Hi, I'm Doc V, the pivot maestro and your corner woman, here to provide truth, transparency, and love in conversation to help you navigate the waters of life, as well as business, and think without a box. Welcome to Candid Conversations with Doc V, my collaboration with the unprecedented enterprise Win-Win Women, a global movement to reach, teach, and talk with women and girls around the world in 195 nations. Folks, as a woman heals, the earth heals. Our mission is to care, connect, and collaborate with 3.9 billion women worldwide so all can enjoy a level of excellence in every area of their lives and be more joyful, fulfilled, and financially secure. We care by loving and inspiring all women. We connect. As we teach and talk together, folks. We collaborate to grow successful businesses. And to that end, Candid Conversations is where real talk about real experiences and circumstances. It is the norm and not the exception to help you heal, rebuild, and transform your life from the inside out to put you back in business and on the road to defining your own path. Folks, what is my why? You are my why. You are my why and my motivation to provide a safe haven for and validation of your experiences and challenges in life for women thought leaders, change agents, legacy builders, and purposed entrepreneurs, and to provide hope and freedom in your thinking and being so that you may be your own boss in mind, body, soul, and business, to live that life and that lifestyle you were meant to lead. So folks, I say all the time, all are welcome to the show. All are welcome to the conversation. But the topics are focused on women and issues we face every day in life, the workplace, career transition, and business. On Candid Conversations, it is our intention to always take you on a journey of revelation, reconciliation, and renaissance, having one mission in mind to help you define your own path and one message. You are mission essential. Yes, even as a woman, because you are grace under pressure every single day, and the world needs your voice. Folks, we are super happy to be back from fall break. As you can tell, I'm all energized and excited for this next season. This month, we will be remixing thoughts on a previous segment that provided all kinds of chain-breaking ahas for our audience members and our viewership around the world. The topic, integrity, leading from the soul. I'm gonna repeat that, integrity, leading from the soul. Today's remix, our self-thought is on doppelganger life. What is a doppelganger? I'll tell you that in a minute. Or in other words, cookie cutter mentality. I want to tell you about our hot seat guest today on Candid Conversations. She is my sister from another mister and partner in the Defining Paths movement, Trina L. Martin, the queen of equality in tech. Let me tell you a little bit about Trina. Trina, she's a technologist, international speaker, best-selling author of From a Mess to Amazing, 7 Steps to Create the Life You Deserve. And she's also a podcaster. She's an accomplished IT professional, retired U.S. Naval officer with 30 years of service. She's broken barriers, folks, and made strides in her career that many said weren't possible. She uses her experience to motivate audiences to overcome adversity, develop self-determination and discipline. Trina inspires emerging leaders, folks, to pursue their wildest dreams with heart and grit. She has led a stellar career in the information technology field as a U.S. Naval Intelligence officer and is an advocate for women of color in tech. Trina has pierced the glass ceiling and excelled in positions typically held by men. Folks, welcome Trina to Candid Conversations. Welcome, sis, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me, Doc V. I am excited to be here with you tonight.
Yes, I'm so excited you're here. You know, we recently had time to spend time together and I tell you, you just give me life. So I'm super excited for the audience to hear from you today and for us just to have real talk. So let's jump right in because it's so much to cover. I think you're going to enjoy today's topic. So some of our audience may be wondering, what is a doppelganger? A doppelganger as a noun, it's a biologically unrelated look-alike, an apparition, or double of a living person, an apparition or double of a living person, right? Biologically unrelated look-alike. So the next question they're probably asking me, sis, is why did Dr. V choose this word specifically? Because of 2 reasons. Apparition, meaning phantom or ghost, and double, meaning repeated or unoriginal. So, I want to talk about integrity and leading from the soul in business and how once you find this place, it's a game changer. And, it takes you out of that doppelganger mentality or way of living in life. What are your thoughts on that?
That is so true because right now, especially with social media, everyone is putting up that front, right? Living the best Instagram life, trying to
Mm,
show people that, I'm blinged out, I'm driving this kind of car, I'm doing this, I have client, and half of those people who are saying that, it's not true.
mhm.
So setting yourself apart is not doing that. I don't have to pose on Instagram in front of a car or do these things. It's actually being true to who I am and serving. That's the point of it all, is serving. At least for me, that's important. And the integrity of it all is I'm trying to serve my people, my
Mm.
clients, my people in the best way that I know how. And that's not all about trying to flash and present a false persona on social media.
Yeah, yeah. And let's talk about that a little bit. I'm gonna deviate a little bit from the direction I wanted to go, but this is so important because how do you walk that fine line of posing or being something you're not, but yet still sharing? Because us, like out here in the public figure, the world, people want to get to know you, right? Because that's how you build that, that no love trust factor. So walking that fine line is really interesting. And, my honey and I recently had a conversation about that as we were traveling and he was meeting my family. Well, for those of you who don't know, recently engaged. And, that was a conversation, and, we were really just trying to decide, hey, do we want to put what we're doing out there, but I love the fact that we embraced it. And, however we were looking, and some days I was looking crazy. How do you walk that fine line, sis?
What I do? I be myself. I'm Trina. I'm going to always be me and authentic. And like
Mhm,
you said, you do want people to see you
mhm.
don't want to all the time be talking business or trying to provide service. You want to just have them get into you and say, okay, this person is a real person. So
Yeah.
yes, I want to do business with this person or whatever the case might be.
Mhm.
So you have to do what's authentic to you, not
Yeah.
looking at other people. I did a post this weekend just of, my dog Dexter, which you've met.
Mhm.
He and I do our walk. And while we were walking, I happened to look up and the sky was amazing. The sun
Mm.
was starting to rise. And I took a picture of that and I posted that on social media just with the caption of just being mindful. So
Yeah.
little things like that you can
Mhm.
do. And it may not be popular and it may not get 12 million likes, but that's okay because
Yeah.
the people who are for you, they're going to look at that and they're going to get the message that you're trying to convey.
Mm. Absolutely. That's so good. So good. So in ethics, integrity is regarded as honesty and truthfulness, or the accuracy of one's actions. Standing in opposition of hypocrisy. How that whole kind of fake in what you don't have. How you said standing in front of a car and not mentioning the fact that it's a rental, like our Superfly Mustang we had. But like let's talk about that elephant in the room and how lives are being negatively affected because not enough leaders are doing so. They're not leading with integrity these days.
Oh, and absolutely. And I think we all had that conversation when we were together, when you were visiting me. And it seems like that's the thing now. Let's pretend, not
Mhm,
operate in integrity. And for me, and I know for you all as well, integrity is very important.
mhm,
And that's what's going to sustain you. Now, you may be able to fake it and draw people in, but you're not
mhm.
going to be able to keep them. And that's the point that people don't realize. If you're
Yeah.
trying to keep up with someone else, or you're trying to pretend that, oh, I can do what XYZ is doing, or you're copying what someone else is doing to
Mhm.
make yourself look good, yeah, you may be able to attract someone, but then you're not going to be able to keep them. And then what people don't realize is in business, our reputations are it's paramount. It's
Yeah.
very important that we have a positive reputation. At least for me, I don't want to do business with someone who I don't trust or who I think is a liar. And I know people out there, especially when they're spending their money, they want to know that, okay, this person has integrity. I
Mhm.
want to do business with this person. So again, showing up as your authentic self, not trying to keep up with how we used to say, keep up with the Joneses,
Yeah.
not trying to do that, but just being yourself, saying, okay, this is me, this is what I have. And you can post that on social media. And my thing is, like I said, don't look for the likes,
Yeah.
because people follow the nice bright shiny object, right? It's like squirrel, squirrel, squirrel. It's like, oh, this person has the best, you know, graphics. And then I know when I first started my business, you get caught up in that kind of like imposter syndrome, right? Because you'll
Yeah.
see people who are doing what you're doing, and you're saying, oh, wow, they have, oh man, they're posting this. That looks great. Oh, they're saying this. That looks great. Oh, maybe I should be doing this. Maybe I should do it. You know,
Mhm.
all of these different things. And you get caught up on that hamster wheel of, okay, let me try to do this. Let me try to do that. And I just had to learn that, you know what? I can't compare myself to anyone.
Yeah. Yeah.
My zone of genius is my zone of genius. Whatever that person's zone of genius is, that's theirs. And I'm not trying to keep up with anybody. And now how I look at myself is I don't have any competitors, because
Yes.
I do what I do and I'm not trying to keep up with anyone else.
Absolutely, absolutely, sis. So there with you, and how freeing is that realization when you come to that place, that point, and you're not fighting to climb a ladder that's not big
Yes.
enough for multiple people at once, and just yeah, it's a beautiful thing when you in a beautiful place to be when you arrive there.
Mhm.
So, let's stay on this whole, integrity is being honesty and just showing that consistency and uncompromising adherence to, a strong moral and ethical, principles and values. It's also a part of that honesty piece. There's a wholeness, an inner sense of wholeness and peace that comes with it. I think that comes from the consistency of character.
Mm.
What's been your experience?
I totally agree. When you have that character
Mhm.
and you're consistently showing up, you know, you can't be one way today and another way tomorrow. You don't want to have that, you know, Mr. Jekyll and Hyde personality. So, so
Right.
you want to be consistent. And I find that my clients and people I do business with, they appreciate that,
Yeah.
because what you see is what you get.
Mhm.
I'm not gonna today be the person who's spazzed out and, oh my God, it's going crazy. I don't know how to handle this. And then tomorrow I'm the calm level person. And then the next day I'm, you know, the person who can't hold a conversation with someone. So whether people say it or not, they look at how you conduct yourself.
Yeah.
What is your character? Are you calm? Are you somebody who's always on 10? Are you operating always on 10? Because that's not good either.
Mhm.
You got to find that balance. You don't want to be someone who's so far to the right or so far to the left, but when someone knows that when they get you, they're getting someone solid,
Yeah.
someone who's consistent, someone
Mm.
who has character,
Yeah.
that's going to keep people coming back.
Yeah, so good, so good. So these days, you can literally throw a stone in any direction, any distance, and you'll never miss a mark at hitting a person or, who has been scammed or cheated or lied to, straight out con, right? There's tens of thousands of folks out here, who've spent ridiculous amounts of money trying to improve themselves, trying to start a business, trying to, maintain, grow, develop, scale a business. And, and a lot of times it's based on a cookie cutter model and not really a tailored solution or, really genuine interest. Let's just call it what it is, real talk, right? A genuine interest in who they are as opposed to a number or a dollar attached to something that, someone is trying to sell. And it's caused so many people to be completely jaded, to give up on their dreams, much less have an opportunity to find their sole purpose, why they were put here on this earth, and it results in such unhappy and unhealthy living and lives, and then these folks just go back to the workplace, or they just, even if their sole purpose is a part of the workplace, they're in jobs or situations that they're not happy with. You know, what do you do? I mean, what do you say to this? Because I mean, really, I'm just so tired of seeing it and seeing people get scammed.
I'm tired of seeing it. I'm tired of hearing about it. And I have been a victim of that as well. When you're
Likewise.
trying, yeah,
Mhm,
when you're trying to start a business and you're trying, or you're just trying to better yourself, professional
mhm,
growth, and you go to one person and they say, okay, um, I'm going to work with you on this.
mhm,
But then, you pay them, you want to work with them on this, but then it's like, okay, well, to get to that part, that's an extra,
mhm,
fee for that.
mhm, mhm,
Or, oh, I can't help you with this, but do business with my friend, and that's going to be an extra fee. So
mhm,
those are people who don't operate in integrity. And and like you said, it's so disheartening and
mhm,
discouraging that it causes people to give up on their dreams. I know many people who have spent thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars
mhm,
on um, agencies who were supposed to deliver a service who didn't, or they did a little bit. And then as soon as you wanted something more, they wanted more money, or they say, oh, I can, so for example, I'm going to take myself. I had
mhm,
someone who charged me thousands of dollars for a website. And they were like,
mhm,
oh, I do everything custom. This is great. This is, I charge this much money. Well, the website was nothing extravagant. Whenever I needed some updates or changes, I couldn't, get in touch with this person. It took me repeatedly reaching out to them. And to me, for the money that I paid, you should be, I mean, and I understand you're not living your life waiting on me to call, but I'm thinking you should be a little more responsive.
mhm,
And if you are doing a custom, quote unquote, custom website,
mhm,
why do I have to go and, tell you, okay, connect this? Is Google Analytics connected? Is it SEO? To me, you should have been able to do all of these things in
mhm,
that with that fee that I paid that
mhm.
encompasses having a website. But again, you have so many people who say that and they don't deliver on what they're promising.
Mhm, mhm. And this is a perfect segue into in just your queen of equality in tech, conversation that you are building, particularly with women of color, around the world. First of all, mostly we're so rare in tech, right?
Right.
And when you do have to deal with someone in tech who might be a man, and you're a woman, there's this thought that, oh, basically you can get away with anything, or the woman is unfamiliar and you can get away with anything. So speak to that, sis. How are you combating that? What are you doing with women in tech?
I work with women in tech to help them overcome and navigate those cultural obstacles that they experience in the workplace.
Hmm.
Because women of color, whether you're Black, Latina, Indigenous, you have to work harder to prove yourself in tech. And a lot of times you're not getting paid the training or any of those things that your white female or male counterparts are getting. So I'm helping those women actually do the things that they need to do so that they can reach leadership positions. My mission is to make sure that women of color in tech advance, they get paid equal, and that they're up in the C-suite on
Hmm.
tech, and they're leaders, not just people who are working. If that's what you choose to do, that's fine. But so many of us have experienced those microaggressions that come along with being in tech that many women just leave the industry. They say, you know what, this is not worth my headache because you're going through so much and you're trying to prove yourself. You feel like, okay, I got to try to prove myself. I'm not getting paid equally. And all of these things are going on. And then finally people say, you know what, why should I stay here? So they go to other industries. And that's a shame because the way that tech is going and as many brilliant women of color out there,
Hmm.
we should be a leading force in the tech industry. So
Mm.
I'm helping to change that with my coaching and with consulting companies by helping them learn how to hire women of color, pay them equally, and retain them. And that means not just going to the same places where you have always gone to recruit and hire people. You got to look outside that box. Not everyone goes to the Ivy League schools.
Mhm.
And everyone has a different background, and that doesn't mean that they can't add value to your organization. It's all dependent on you opening up your mindset and seeing past that stereotype that we've been,
Mm.
told about women of color, and actually investing and bringing those women in.
I love that. So you're also teaching that you're providing that validation and that safe haven while simultaneously teaching them how to literally, figuratively, and literally love the skin they're in, but lead with integrity and
Yes.
honesty, etc. Yeah, yeah,
Yes.
beautiful. I love it, sis. So, for I want to go back a little bit to, and this is still tied in because a lot of us choose to embrace an uninspired life of lack in creativity, originality, or financial freedom because of these stereotypes, because of these environments that and we go back into these microaggressive environments, and we settle for just to mimic and settle for that doppelganger mentality or that phantom life, which is could be another description of doppelganger. Where one size truly does not fit all, but yet we try to fit in there as opposed to embracing our originality. And this whole phenomenon is snuffing out hope, or this whole, well, I guess it's not really, the one size fits all is a phenomenon, but the social conditioning or the
Mm,
cultural conditioning is not a phenomenon. That's been from the inception.
yes. Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
what are your thoughts there?
And it's called code switching, right? So,
Mm-hmm.
and it's so exhausting
Mm-hmm.
because I'm Trina here. I'm at home. I'm Trina that but then when I go to work, I have to change and be this whole totally different person because I have to fit in to be with other people so that I'm not called aggressive. I'm not called the angry Black woman. All these things
Been
that they
called that.
call us, right? uh you know I've been
Yeah.
called those things,
Yeah.
all of these things. And you're finding that you end up being exhausted,
Mhm.
trying to put on all of these many faces instead of just saying, you know what, let me be me and come to work and do what I need to do.
Mhm.
But
Mhm.
culture doesn't allow us to do that. Now, if any other person, if a male did that, it's like, oh yeah, they're strong, they're leaders, they're rock stars. But soon as a Black woman does that, or a woman of color, it's like,
Yeah.
oh my God, she's angry. Oh, she's so aggressive. You know, what? Why are you so aggressive?
Right.
You shouldn't act like that. you know, and I
Yeah.
know it well, right? Because I've
Yeah.
been told that. And it's like, why am I aggressive? Because I speak the truth, or
Yeah.
I'm not allowing you to run over me. So
Yeah.
that's the code switching part. But then you talked about the lack mentality, and that goes back to limiting beliefs and
Mhm.
mindset.
Mhm.
And so many people are in that cycle, of thinking, I'm not good enough.
Yeah.
I don't have what it takes. And that's another thing that I work on with the women that I coach is you are enough because you're there. You're in
Yes.
that room. You're in that room. Take your seat at the table. But when you have
Mhm.
those limiting beliefs, thinking that I'm not good enough, I shouldn't be here, or,
Mhm.
maybe, I need XYZ more certifications, you
Yeah.
know, it, that we don't need all of that. Just show up who you are, give the value that you can give. And that's what sets us aside. But you have to have that confidence. You have to
Yeah.
know that that's what you possess.
Yeah. Yes, so good, so good. Sis, I mean, we can just keep going on and on in this topic. But I can't believe time is moving like it's moving.
Oh,
But I really want if you would share some advice or thoughts about just the fear of defining, your own path, and identifying and setting your own values and systems and And, the whole stick-to-itiveness, right? Instead of opting for the ready-made version. I mean, what advice would you give the audience on that? Just that what I've kind of, entitled the phrase integrity and leading from the soul.
What I would say is, and this is one of my favorite quotes. I think Dr. King said it, but
Mhm.
if you stand for nothing, you'll fall for anything.
Love it. One of my favorite.
Oh, I love it. And that says so much because you need to be you who you are. And I know we use that word authentic and it's kind of become the new
Mhm.
buzzword now,
Mhm.
but know who you are. Know
Yes.
who you are and be willing to stand in that. And you know what? And being who you are and standing in that, it's you know what, you're going to get haters. I'm just going to tell you, you're going to get haters because I have lived my life of saying, you know what, I'm gonna be who I am, and I get people who hate me, and I have people who have tried to take me down one way or the other.
Mhm.
But that's the price that you have to pay. But you got to be willing to say, you know what, no matter what comes or goes, I'm going to be true to myself.
Mhm.
And once you're true to yourself and you're not trying to compare yourself, you're not trying to fit in, you're not trying to be that doppelganger where you're like, okay, let me look like this person.
Mhm.
When you're true and you know who you are, you're going to stand out above the rest, and people are going to notice that. And
That's right.
don't think for 1 minute that having, a flashy whatever or 12 million views or likes, don't think that that matters because you just need that one person to see who you really are.
Mm.
And you never know what that may open. That may just open up a floodgate for you, but you
Yes.
have to be who you are and stand in that.
Mm. Girl, look, that's a mic drop. That's a couple of mic drops. Gotta give me a mic for this so I can be dropping the mic. Oh, that was beautifully well said. Look, bravo. So on point. And a perfect wrap to our show today. Trina, I want to thank you for being my guest today, for pinch hitting. Much love to Gina Longo, who will be on our next show, well, a couple of shows from now. And, she was dealing with Hurricane Ian, and to all of those folks out there in Florida, our hearts go to you, our prayers, our love. I really appreciate you being on the show today, sis. And
Thank
audience,
you.
I hope you've enjoyed, I know you have enjoyed Real Talk with Trina Elmark, the queen of equality in tech. Catch up, watch the video, and share with your friends about the life-giving and life-changing conversations we're having right here on Candid Conversations. They can just go to Roku, go to Apple TV, go to Amazon Fire, and watch this until they get what they need. Your call to action, as always, answer in truth, transparency, love, and space for grace for yourself. Are you leading your life with soul integrity? And are you leading others from a place of integrity? Because if you're a leader, you have that responsibility. Think on the revelations you've received today, reconcile them with your path you're currently on, and move into your renaissance. It's time for you to redefine and shine unapologetically. You are in no competition with anyone but yourself. If you are ready to pivot and be the captain of your fate and the master of your soul, join our boss nation. Defining Paths and our partners are here to serve you. Trina is one of our partners, as I mentioned. We are a family who sees and cares about you, and that's determined to put you back in business. We invite you to explore our virtual home and one-stop love shop, as we call it, at definingpaths.online. We have a new face and even more coming. And we're doing extraordinary things to serve humanity and help you connect the dots for your holistic transformation. If you want to start an online business or need it resuscitated, check out our 90-day True Vision Turnkey solution. And if you're here for a safe haven inspiration or personal betterment, folks, we welcome you home and thank you for spending time with us. We do not take it lightly, and we want to encourage you to come back every week. Folks, be sure to follow us on social media at Pivot Maestro, Maestro, and check us out. Check out our new podcast, Define Your Path. It's doing wonderfully amazing stories that are being shared, and it's available on all platforms. Stay plugged in, folks, and join us next week. Until then, what is our mantra, ladies? Strong is the new sexy. So be strong in mind, body, soul, and business. Define your path and love the skin you're in. I'm Doc V, the Pivot Maestro, and always your corner woman. I am my sister's keeper. I'll see you next week.